There are places in India where people refuse to go after sunset, not because of wild animals, not because of crime, but because locals believe something else lives there. One of those places is Bhangarh Fort in Rajasthan. The government itself has placed warning boards outside the fort. Entry after sunset and before sunrise is strictly prohibited. Most people laugh at the warning. 3 friends did too, and none of them came back alive. My name is Arav. This happened 2 years ago. My friends Kabir, Samir, and I ran a small YouTube channel where we explored abandoned places. One night, Samir sent us a video about Bhangarh Fort. People in the comments claimed they heard whispers there at night, saw shadows moving between ruins, and some even said people disappeared inside the fort. Kabir immediately got excited. Kabir: "Bro, imagine the views if we spend one full night inside." I didn't like the idea, but after hours of convincing, I finally agreed. That decision destroyed our lives. We reached Bhangarh around evening. The sun was setting behind the mountains, covering the fort in orange light. Even from outside, the place felt strange. Broken temples stood silently beside dead trees. Monkeys screamed from the ruins before suddenly disappearing into the forest. The closer we got, the quieter everything became. At the entrance, we saw the famous warning board. Samir read it out loud, dramatically. No person is allowed to enter the borders of Bhangarh Fort after sunset. Kabir laughed. Kabir: "Perfect. That means the ghosts are active after dark." A security guard sitting nearby overheard us. He looked serious, very serious. He walked toward us slowly and said, "Guard, leave before dark." Samir smiled. "Samir, why? You really believe ghost stories?" The guard stared directly at him. Then he quietly said, "People who enter after sunset hear things calling them into the ruins." Nobody laughed after that. We pretended to leave before sunset. But around 8 p.m., we parked the car far from the entrance and returned secretly through the forest. The moonlight barely reached the ruins. The fort looked completely different at night. Larger, darker, almost alive. We climbed through a broken wall and entered silently. The moment we crossed inside, the wind stopped completely. It felt like the entire fort was watching us. Samir turned on his camera. Samir whispering, "Okay, guys, we are officially inside India's most haunted fort." Kabir tried acting brave, but I could see nervousness on his face. We walked deeper into the ruins. Old houses surrounded us on both sides. Most had collapsed roofs and black, empty windows. Every few seconds, I felt like someone was standing inside those windows watching us pass. Then we heard it. A soft humming sound. A woman singing. Very faint. Far away. We stopped immediately. "Arav, did you hear that?" Kabir nodded slowly. Samir forced a laugh. "Samir, it's probably just wind." But there was no wind. The humming continued, slowly getting closer. We kept walking until we reached an open area inside the fort. In the center stood an old stone well. Ancient, dark, huge. Samir pointed his flashlight inside. The light disappeared into endless blackness. Kabir picked up a rock and dropped it into the well. We waited. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Then, splash. The sound came from unbelievably deep below. Suddenly, we heard footsteps behind us, fast footsteps, running toward us. We spun around. Nobody was there, but the humming had stopped. Now the entire fort was silent again. Kabir stepped closer to the well nervously. "Kabir, guys, I think we should leave." Then we heard a whisper, very close, right beside us. A woman's voice. "Come closer." Kabir panicked and stepped backward. The loose stones near the well cracked beneath him. Before we could react, he fell. Kabir screamed as he disappeared into darkness. His scream echoed through the fort. Then came a loud crack from below. Me and Samir rushed to the edge. We shouted his name again and again. No response. Only darkness. Then suddenly, Kabir started laughing. The sound echoed from inside the well. But it didn't sound normal. It sounded wrong, distorted, almost like multiple people laughing together. Samir's hands started shaking. Samir, that's not him! Then from below we heard Kabir scream, "Help me!" We found an old rope tied near broken ruins and slowly climbed halfway into the well. The smell inside was horrible, rotten, like dead animals. Our flashlight finally reached Kabir, and what we saw still gives me nightmares. His leg was twisted unnaturally. Blood covered the stones around him, but he was smiling. A huge, unnatural smile stretched across his face. His eyes looked empty, like he was staring at something standing behind us. Then Kabir whispered softly, "She's here." We somehow pulled him out of the well. He kept muttering strange things, repeating the same sentence again and again. "Don't let her touch me." Samir and I carried him through the ruins, trying to find the exit. But something was wrong. The pathways looked different. The buildings seemed unfamiliar. It felt like the fort itself was changing. Then Samir's flashlight died. Complete darkness surrounded us, and suddenly, footsteps echoed all around us. Not one person, many, running in circles around us. Whispers filled the air. Men crying, women screaming, children laughing. I grabbed Samir's arm tightly. "Arav, run!" We carried Kabir and ran blindly through the ruins. Behind us we heard loud screaming. A woman screaming in anger. The sound was so painful that my ears started ringing. Then we finally saw the broken wall where we entered. We escaped the fort and ran toward our car. But Kabir suddenly grabbed my wrist, hard. His eyes were wide open, terrified. Then he whispered, "She followed us!" Samir drove as fast as possible down the empty road. Nobody spoke. Kabir lay in the back seat, breathing heavily. Then suddenly he sat upright, violently. His eyes looked completely white, and he screamed, "Stop the car!" At that exact moment, a woman appeared in the middle of the road, wearing white clothes, long black hair covering her face, standing perfectly still. Samir swerved to avoid hitting her. The car lost control. Everything happened instantly. The tires screamed, glass shattered, metal crushed, and then darkness. The next morning, locals found our destroyed car near the road outside Bhangarh Fort. All three of us were declared dead on the spot, but police discovered something disturbing. There were muddy footprints around the accident site, bare human footprints. They started near the passenger side door and led back toward Bhangarh Fort. But the strangest part came later. The guard from the fort told police he heard humming from inside the ruins that same night. A woman singing, along with 3 male voices screaming for help, and even today. Locals say if you stand near the old well inside Bhangarh after sunset, you can hear someone whisper, "Come closer."